Welcome everyone, I'm Dale and this is Cinema Historia. Quoting from author Laura Ingalls Wilder, some old-fashioned things like fresh air and sunshine are hard to beat. So this week we're going back to 1974 for a holiday family drama called Christmas at Plum Creek. So grab a hot chocolate and let's begin. Our story begins this week on a cold and frosty day in the 1870s in Plum Creek near Walnut Grove, Minnesota. Making this holiday treat special is the Ingalls family. Charles Ingalls, played by Michael Landon. Caroline Ingalls, played by Karen Grassel. Daughters Mary, played by Melissa Sue Anderson. Laura, played by Melissa Gilbert. And youngest Carrie, played by Rachel Lindsay Greenbush. Christmas is coming, and with not knowing what to get each other, everyone is saying that it is a time for secrets and not to ask questions. Stopping in town for supplies at Olson's General Store, Laura lets daughter Nellie Olson ride her favorite horse, a black beauty named Bunny. Nellie expresses some interest in buying or bartering Laura's horse, even offering a china doll, but Laura says Bunny is not for sale. You see, Laura loves her horse, but at the same time wants to buy something expensive for her mother, but has to come up with a way to pay for it. Inside the store, well, the shelves are filled with Christmas treats, joyous toys, shiny ornaments, and decorations. Remember those days before corporate stores? All the small stores did up their front windows. Mary is checking out some yardage for knitting a shirt. Carrie notices a silver star that would complete their Christmas tree. And after Caroline looks at the same yardage that Mary was looking at, notices a new stove for $7.87, and that would relate to about $188 today. While leaving, Charles is approached by store owner Nels Olson, and complaining of no wheelwright, needs a set of buckboard wheels, makes a deal with Charles for $8 if he could restore a used set before Christmas. After their window shopping trip, the Ingalls family pile in their wagon, bundled for the chilly ride home. Tucking in back home to warmer surroundings, Charles explains the meaning of Christmas to Carrie, and the next day, Mary's excited to get a job as a seamstress for Mrs. Whipple. With Laura still uncertain of her plans, everyone else is working and planning in secret as the big day approaches. So, do buckboard wheels turn into a new stove? Does a seamstress turn yardage into a much-needed shirt? Does their Christmas tree have an extra twinkle this year, or does the daughter's decision bring to life the true meaning of Christmas? Aired December 25th, 1974, this holiday classic was episode 15 from season 1 of the popular TV series Little House on the Prairie that ran 9 seasons from September of 74 to March of 1983. Little House on the Prairie began as a 2-hour pilot, airing March 30th, 1974. Michael Landon was asked to direct the pilot by NBC executive Ed Friendly. Landon agreed on the condition that he may also play Charles Ingalls, and he did a great job of both. I remember watching both these back then. I think we were laying on our hardwood floor by the fire, watching it on a Sylvania color TV off the antenna. There was about 5 or 6 channels we could get back then, and it was always something to watch. And our trivia question this week: does one of the stars of our show have a relative in a current running series? Does one of the stars of our show have a relative in a current running series? So a little more history and the answer to our trivia question right after this. Our story is loosely based on the books by American author Laura Ingalls Wilder, making her the subject of this week's history. So, born Laura Elizabeth Ingalls on February 7th, 1867, the family lived 7 miles north of the village of Pepin, Wisconsin. Since the age of 2, Laura Ingalls grew up in a family that moved frequently, led by their father by covered wagon, through the American frontier of Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, and the Dakota Territory. At age 15, she began teaching in rural schools, and in 1885, she married Almanzo J. Wilder, with whom she lived from 1894 on a farm near Mansfield, Missouri. Some years later, she began writing for various periodicals, served as a poultry editor for the St. Louis Star, and for 12 years was home editor of the Missouri Ruralist. Prompted by her daughter, Wilder began writing down her childhood experiences, centering on the male unrest and female patience of pioneers in the mid-1800s. Ingalls' home in Pepin became the setting for her first book, Little House in the Big Woods, in 1932, and after writing Farmer Boy in 1933, a book about her husband's childhood, she published Little House on the Prairie in 1935. The Little House books were well received by the reading public and critics alike, with their warmth and simplicity charming generations of readers. Wilder continued the story of her life with On the Banks of Plum Creek in 1937, By the Shores of Silver Lake in 1939, The Long Winter in 1940, Little Town on the Prairie in 1941, and These Happy Golden Years in 1943, among others. Her books remain in print, having been translated into 40 other languages, as they were boosted in popularity by the success of the television series based on Wilder's stories. Laura Ingalls was a descendant of the Delano family, the ancestral family of U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Laura was the 7th great-granddaughter of the Mayflower passenger Richard Warren, and was a third cousin once removed of the U.S. President and Civil War General Ulysses S. Grant. And Ingalls Wilder's birth site is commemorated by a replica log cabin at the Little House Wayside in Pepin. Just amazing. And the answer to our trivia question this week: does one of the stars of our show have a relative in a current running series? You probably nabbed this one. Yes, Michael Landon, who plays Charles Ingalls in our show, has a daughter named Jennifer Landon, who was a cast member in a current neo-Western drama television series named Yellowstone. American actress Jennifer Landon is known for her role as Teeter on the Paramount Network series Yellowstone that began in 2020. Also known for her role as Gwen Norbeck Munson in the CBS soap opera As the World Turns from 2005 to 2008 and 2010. And for her part on the show, Landon won 3 consecutive Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Younger Actress in a Drama Series. Just amazing. And it's just amazing that I've more subscribers joined me this week. For me, that's a big deal, actually. So I'd like to say thank you, and to all the viewers. I'd like to leave you with another quote from Laura Ingalls Wilder. I am beginning to learn that it is the sweet, simple things of life which are the real ones after all. Home is the nicest word there is. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you back next week.